Happy Hump Day! We are back to talk some basketball, and we have a huge show for you today. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and we are back to talk some basketball, baby. After taking a day off, we're ready to get back to the grind. It's Hump Day, it's Wednesday. We're all going through the daily rut of life through the week with work and everything else. So I got two Hump Day brain twisters and one joke for you just to get you through. So here we go. The first one. What came first, the color orange or the orange fruit? Something to think about. This next one, this will just blow your mind. Here we go. If you were born deaf, what language do you think in? If you have an answer for that, please leave a comment below. That's absolutely insane. And then this last one's just a joke, just to brighten up your day a little bit. If two vegans are arguing, is it still called beef? I'm just saying, that's pretty good. Anyways, that's what I got. Let's get back into the grind. I know some of you guys think I talk too much, but it is what it is. We got two new Jabo MVPs, baby. Gotta love that. Let's pull those up right now. All right, there they are, the two new Jabo MVPs. We got at Gino Jose 7084 and at Jack Lee TT9F4. You guys are freaking awesome. Thank you for joining the Jabo MVP group. If you want to join, it's just $2.99 a month. Hit that join button below the video or on our channel page. May have to use a computer if it doesn't work on your phone, but it just really helps the channel out, helps support us, and you get some perks with emojis and badges, prioritized replies, all that good stuff. So thank you guys who have all done it already. We appreciate the support. It helps us keep this going. So that's what we got. But in this video, it is small forward day, baby. That's right. It's Wednesday. We're going to talk defenses that give up the most points, rebounds, and assists to the small forward position. I know we skipped shooting guards on Tuesday. I will try to get something out on Twitter, Discord, maybe on a post on YouTube for shooting guards, just to at least give you the defenses that are giving up the most points or something like that. So, and then after that, it's Wednesday, so it's time for the G's of threes, and then we finish it off with the best bets for this 9-game slate today, and the bets recap to put it all in a bow. So that's what we got. Hit that like button, leave a comment below. Keep helping this channel grow. You guys are absolutely incredible. Trying to reach 20,000 subscribers by Christmas or at least New Year's. That is our goal. We are so close to 18,000 right now. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's get into it, and it starts with the bets recap. All right, we got a couple days to go over since we didn't have a video yesterday. Monday, the man, the myth, the legend, Kobe White, over 25 and a half points and assists, blew it out of the water yet again, and he is slowly becoming a Jabo Hall of Famer. We may have more on that here in the next week or two. But next one, the bonus. What in the hell? He made me look like an idiot. Kobe White made me look like a genius, and then Sabonis just had one of his monster games, and that didn't have a chance from the get go. That was a bummer. Alt line parlay, first one of the year. Rockets -5, Thunder -8. Thunder was an easy one. Rockets made it a little sweaty, but pulled away at the very end for a nice +105 winner. And then the one that hurts me, Mr. Jones for the Dallas Mavericks. It was a great read. Kyrie Irving was not playing. He only had a 12.5 point line. He scored 5 points in only 6 minutes, and then had a freaking knee go to the thigh, and he was out for the rest of the game. So it's a loss. I put a injured sign next to it, but it is still considered a loss because that's part of basketball betting. And then Tuesday, what we just had, Porzingis 15 plus points, Kawhi 3 plus assists. That got it done. But that Kings Clippers game, that second one was not. It was a no sweat loss for De'Aaron Fox over 35 and a half. It was just atrocious. I don't know what is going on with the NBA all the time. You get a game like that has a tight point spread, good stars on both teams. You think it's going to be a competitive game. The Clippers blow them out of the water. It ruins any over bets you pretty much have in this game. Thank goodness I took Kawhi down to 3 assists and not the 4 because he got exactly 3 because the game was a blowout, and that's just how the game went. But either way, 2-2 on Monday, 1-1 on Tuesday. I am sick of those even days. And there's all the records on the bottom right, just so you guys see the breakdown of that. So 3-3 since last time. We are now 56 and 45, up 10.76 units. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to get on a roll again. So hopefully that starts today. And before we get into all the best bets, let's talk some small forwards. All right, here we go. Let's talk the small forward position. And for the first time this year, we have a similar team at number one. That's right, the Triple Crown. It's the Wizards, giving up the most points to small forwards. all the way down the list, you got Mr. Mikal Bridges. How about that? Leading the small forward position with 26.8 points per game. Again, if you're new to the channel, these are all last 15 days, just so you guys know. But we do this to kind of help you guys out who's been playing well lately at that position. And here's the defenses giving up the most points to that position. So I did put Miles Bridges since we now have two M Bridges in this top 10 list, which is pretty cool. And then let's go over to the rebounds. There it is, the second one. The Wizards leading the way again, giving up 9.07 rebounds to the small forward position, followed by Clippers, Pacers, Cavs, so on and so on. And then Scotty doesn't know, baby. Scotty Barnes at 9 rebounds per game in the last 15 days. Michael Porter Jr., Chris Middleton making an appearance at 6.7. And again, I've said this before, small forwards, shooting guards, they get a little tricky, sometimes even power forwards. It's a positionless league nowadays, it seems like. So, if you guys, don't think this is their actual position every single game, take it for what it is. I do my best to try to get you exactly small forwards. But yeah, we even have a new guy, Williams Jr. for the Grizzlies, averaging 6.2 rebounds per game in the last 15 days. So let's finish it off with the assists. And there it is, the Washington Wizards, the triple crown of small forwards have absolutely been horrendous. Put me in, coach, at small forward and see what I can do against this Wizards team. And then over on the right, small forwards obviously don't get a ton of assists, but DeMar DeRozan, last 15 days, how about 8 assists per game? That's not too shabby for him. Brandon Ingram, 6.2. Scotty Barnes, 5.7, along with Paul George, and so on and so on. And you got Bridges down there for the Nets, Mikal Bridges, averaging 4.3. So that is the small forward position. Take some screenshots. Hopefully, this helps you get some winners. And again, if you're new to the channel, we do a position every single day. Point guard Monday, so on and so on, all the way to centers on Friday. But on Wednesday, we also have something else. And it's this next segment. It's called the G's of Threes. All right, let's talk some 3-point shooters on fire, baby. That's right. We got 3 pages, and I do the 40 and 40 rule. First of all, it's the last 8 games. It's kind of the easiest way to look at it instead of days. Some of these in 8 games, someone sat out, so it might be 7 games. You'll see a note next to those, just so you know. Because, if you want to take shots divided by how many games they're played, it kind of tells you how many they're taking per game. But all the rest that don't have a note on it, it is 8 games. The 40-40 rule. You have to take at least 43 pointers in the last 8 games, and you have to shoot 40% or better. And here is the list. Mr. Steph Curry is up here all the time, but he barely made it today at 40.7%. But look who's number 2. The man, Kobe White, shooting a ridiculous 52.8%. He's in green because he has the highest percentage of anybody who's taken 40 or more threes in the last 8 games. So it has been very impressive. His hair is awesome. He is awesome. If my wife would let me, I would rename my child to Kobe because he's the man. Bogdanovich, the one for the Hawks. He is 35 for 71, almost 50% shooting. Halliburton, Beasley. Other than that, no super big surprises. Malik Monk's been a good shooter. Ananobi's shooting the ball well as well. So whatever that means. Let's go to page 2. Eric Gordon of the Phoenix Suns shooting 44.2%. And then down there in the middle, James Harden, the Clippers finding a little bit of rhythm, not shutting down Westbrook, but making sure he plays around 20 minutes or less every game, not making us play that inefficient basketball that he's been playing lately. And yeah, Harden's finding a rhythm with that Clippers team. Then we got Sam Hauser. His name still haunts me a little bit because I had that last assist a couple days ago. If he would have just knocked down a 3 in the corner for my Derek White assist bet, but he bricked it. But that's okay. I will forgive him. And then LeBron, the man, shooting 40%, along with Cam Johnson of the Nets and Royce O'Neal of the Nets, 45.5% in 7 games. And then let's finish it up with the third page. We got a Bridges for the Hornets, shooting 41.9. And then Brandon Miller of the Charlotte Hornets as well. How about 21 for 42, 50% from 3-point range? That is pretty impressive. So that's the list. And then you got my boy Jones Jr., just got hurt. But that's what we got. Those are the G's of threes. Now it's time, baby. Let's talk some best bets. All right, this first game takes us out to Utah. We got the Jazz hosting the New York Knickerbockers. Knicks -6, over under of 227 in this game. Against the spread, Knicks 11-9-2 ATS, 6-5-1 ATS on the road. Jazz 10-12-1 ATS, 8-3 against the spread at home, which has been pretty impressive for them. Over under, Knicks 12-10 to the over. Jazz 13-10 to the over. My best bet in this game, we're not going to player prop. We are picking a side. Give me the Knicks -6 at -110. I don't understand it. Like I didn't even understand it when I just first saw him, but when I saw the line, I was thinking, okay, maybe the Jazz are going to be a little healthier than I thought. I started diving into the game. They're not. So let's talk injuries first. Laurie Marketing, he's been out, has not played since November 22nd. He's been out, I think it's like 8 games now with a hamstring injury. He's upgraded to questionable, so he's not there yet. He may play. If he does play, I cannot see him getting a ton of minutes. Jordan Clarkson, he is out because last game he also just hurt his hamstring, so he's going to miss some time. Walker Kessler, questionable with the foot injury. John Collins is now iffy to play, is the last report I saw, with an illness. I mean, guys, the Jazz are not a very deep team. You cannot be losing like four of your best 5 or 6 players on the team. Knicks injuries, Mitchell Robinson is out. That hurts him obviously down low, but I don't think it's like end all be all. It's not like he scores 20 a game or anything. And Emmanuel quickly is questionable. So those are the injuries for this game as of right now, the night before. I know that the Jazz are better at home than the road. We've talked about this before. They're a great team to fade on the road. We did actually last week and got a winner, or a couple days ago. But like I said, with how 4 of their 5 best players, even if Markkinen plays, I still think it's going to be limited enough to where I like the Knicks -6. They just have too much firepower. We're talking the Jazz team is 28th in defensive rating, 26th in offensive rating, and 23rd in points per game. I mean, that offensive rating is actually with Laurie Market and Jordan Clarkson playing most of the year. So, I mean, without them, they're probably like dead last, I'd say, as an offensive team at least. And Knicks, if you look at their schedule and how they play this year, they're a team that takes care of business when it's a bad team. They're a team that also can't beat the really good teams yet, like the Celtics, the Bucks, and those teams of the world. But when they play bad teams, they usually take care of business pretty easily. So and also, Knicks, just a little side note, Knicks are a top 10 team in points off turnovers, and no one turns the ball over in the NBA more than the Utah Jazz. They're dead last with 16.7 turnovers per game. I'm not going to overthink this one. I don't know why this line is 6. I thought it would be like, with these kind of injuries, especially if Marketing doesn't play, I thought it'd be like 9, to be honest with you. So give me the Knicks -6 as my first best bet. All right, my second best bet is a player prop parlay. Say that 3 times fast. It is Brandon Ingram and Terry Rozier, 20 plus points each at -119 on DraftKings. Now, after I tell you about this bet, I'll let you know about a pivot if you can't do alt lines of a bet I like. So, Brandon Ingram, 20 plus points. You saw the small forward matchups, guys. The Wizards can't go. First of all, the Wizards can't guard anybody, but Brandon Ingram is the lucky small forward that's going to be playing against the Wizards this game. So, points total around 23.5. I do like that as well. But the big news here is that Zion is questionable. He may not play. If he doesn't play, I absolutely love him to cruise, probably cruise over 23.5 points. So maybe wait till game time if you're not going to take an alt line in real line. But even if Zion plays, I do feel comfortable with this. He's scored, if when Zion's out, he scored 20 plus points in all 3 games without Zion. But a side note, McCollum, I think, was out for 2 of those 3 as well. So that's obviously not the case this time. But Brandon Ingram's averaging 23 points per game this season, and all we need him to score is 20 plus points versus the worst team in the freaking NBA. Now, Ingram is a guy who knows how to get to the free throw line, and that really helps here. He's had 6 plus free throw attempts in 4 of his last 5, 8 plus in 3 of his last 5, and 9 plus in 2 of his last 4. That's right. I dug into how many free throws he even shoots, but that does help. It gets that point total up just like the other ones do. The other thing is you got to think about blowout. And the Pelicans are on the road here. The Pelicans haven't beaten anybody this season by more than 10 points on the road. I know some of that is injury related. They haven't had their full team and all that, which they may not have again without Zion. And they're playing the Wizards. Wizards have been able to keep some games competitive. We've seen it against the 76ers, and then they just kind of fade. But because it's on the road, I think the Wizards have a chance to keep it competitive enough, at least, for Ingram to play his minutes and get to 20 plus points. Now, let's talk the next one. Scary Terry, my goodness, has this guy been on a man on a mission? He's been awesome. Last game versus the Heat a few days ago, so they're playing a back to back with the Heat, obviously here. He went for 34 points and 13 dimes. That's right. He's really stepped up without LaMelo Ball in the lineup. In his last 5 games without LaMelo, he has scored 37, 23, 25, 21, and 34. 21 or more in every single game. It's been impressive. He takes a ton of shots too. He's facing a Heat team without Bam Adebayo again, which obviously helps them, loosens up the paint when you get to the hole and all that kind of stuff. But Heat are about average versus point guards, and Scary Terry, it doesn't really matter, guys. When he's on, he's on. He's a pretty good player offensively. His points total, again, is also around 23.5. I took it down to 20 for this parlay. I'm sure the Heat will make some adjustments to him when you play a team twice in a row, but I mean, he scored 34 last time. I just need 20. He's also, this is what's crazy. He is averaging 20.2 shot attempts per game in the last 5 games without Lamelo. I mean, this guy is shooting and shooting a lot. If I can just get his average of 20 shot attempts, I love my chances for him to just score 20. Um, Volume's there, average, decent matchup. All I need is 20. Give me Scary Terry and Brandon Ingram to each score 20 points. All right, the final bet tonight takes us out to Houston, Texas. We got the Rockets hosting the Memphis Grizzlies. Rockets -7, over under 213.5. ATS Grizzlies 9-13 this year, 6-5 on the road. Rockets 13-5-2 ATS, including the number 1 team at home, 9-1-1 ATS at home. So we've talked about that before. Also, over under Grizzlies 13-9 to the under. They are the 4th best under team in the NBA, but the Rockets 14-6 to the under. They are the number 1 under team in the NBA. Now, head to head, Rockets beat the Grizzlies 111-91 on November 22nd. Put an absolute beat down on them by 20 points. Obviously, if I had to pick a side, I'm going to go Rockets -7. How well they play at home. This total is low, 213.5. Two decent. I mean, Rockets are a good defensive team. Grizzlies have actually played decent defense this year. But my best bet, it's a player prop. It's the big man. Give me Alperen Sengun over 4.5 assists at -125 on DraftKings. Now, I thought about taking his overall, numbers, maybe rebounds plus assists, but I'm just going to stick with assists here. So he averages 5.6 on the year. So he's averaging 5.5. About, I only need 5. He's averaging around 8.5 potential assists per game. So um, what this bet comes down to me, honestly, is are his teammates going to make shots? Because he's going to, like I said, he's 8.5 potential assists. He's going to find his teammates. The offense runs through Sangoon. That's just kind of what they do. It's, he's kind of a, I don't know, poor man's Jokic. I don't even know how to put that. But last game he fell one short. He had 4. The reason, the team was absolutely awful shooting the ball. They scored 93 points at home against the Spurs. It was just mind-boggling. The night before, the offense was rolling. We know because we had the Nuggets on a money line parlay and the Rockets beat them. They were rolling against the Nuggets. They scored like 114 points, and Sengun had 7 assists. So it just comes down to this offense, knocking down some shots because he's going to find some open shooters. And unfortunately, we don't have control over the open shot makes. But he's gone over this in 7 of the last 10 games. He's had 6 plus assists in 4 of the last 6. And this is the crazy part about him. He's going to give us a chance. We need 5, right? He's had 4 plus assists in 18 of 20 games this year. So only 2 games has he even got below 4. I mean, he's going to be right there. And if he gets more than 4.5, I mean, he can sometimes get up to 7 assists. So I like this number. I'm just going to count on this team to hit some shots at home. Hopefully, they just keep running that offense through him. I don't see why they would change that now. So give me Alperen Sengun over 4.5 assists at -125 as my final bet of the night. Any added bets will be in the pinned comments below. Let's check out the bets recap. All right, there it is. The Knickerbockers -6 at -110. And then we got the alt line parlay. Brandon Ingram and Terry Rozier 20 plus points each at -119 on DraftKings. Especially if Zion doesn't play, I like Ingram over 23.5 points as well if you can't do alt lines. A final bet, Alperen Sengun, the big man for Houston, over 4.5 assists at -125 on DraftKings. That is the Hump Day Wednesday show. I hope everyone has a great day. I appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving us this week over the last few months and everything else. If you want to become a Jabbo MVP, hit that join button. So we got an NFL game bets video coming out for week 15, I believe it is. Late Wednesday night. That's what has that trends parlay that we've hit 2 weeks in a row now and all those game bets. So stay tuned for that. But thanks again. Hope everyone has a great day. And we'll talk to you soon.